America. I'm registered with SFI now. Yay! They gave me a little pamphlet. For you who are about to start studying SFI. I start in 2 weeks because I have had college. They started me on track C. So I won't have as much of the very, very basic stuff. Hopefully they don't put me in too far either, but it's still supposed to be for beginners, just for smarty pants beginners. So, yay! And I had signed up with one place, but I'm not going to go with them after all. But each individual school that does the SFI classes had these little pamphlets for you to help pick out which one you were going to go to. Because they still want you to go to their school and like it so that you might stay on and actually pay money for the school that, you know, for the later education, which I'm sure they probably get more money from the person than the government for the SFI classes, so. So yeah, that's a big weight off my shoulders. Yay! So 2 weeks I'll be able to start that. I am pretty surprised about how much time I'm going to be spending doing it, though. The classes are 3.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's pretty hefty. Like, I kind of expected it to be more adult education, so like 2 hours, 3 days a week or something. But nope, this is pretty heavy-duty stuff, so. They do have an option to do online of it, and I would rather do it in person, but I'll have to feel that out before I want to try doing it in person, and if that just doesn't work out, because, you know, 5 days a week, 3.5 hours a day is going to really cut into the time for, like, job hunting and working on my thesis. God, I hope to never say that phrase again. And my book and things like that. But it's for a good cause, hopefully. He said that I should be able to wrap up the first segment in about 4 months. He said it depends on how quickly you learn and stuff. Basically, it's preparing you for a test, which will say whether or not you're proficient in the language. And from there, then you take more classes to take another test, and then you're awesome. Or something. So, it was kind of weird. He asked, you know, well, what kind of education do you have, you know? And I said, well, I have my associates. And he didn't know what an associate's was. And I thought that was really weird because, like, you gotta figure he sees, like, judging by how busy it was, like 50 people a day, 5 days a week, you'd think you'd hear the word associates a freaking lot. It's just a bunch of us immigrants. Some of us are American. I don't know. I just thought it was strange. So, but yeah, I know they don't have associates here. They do have bachelors and masters, but they don't have associates. In fact, honestly, there were some people in the States that didn't know what my associate's degree was. I guess it matters that little. Didn't feel like it at the time. I worked hard for that 2-year degree, all the 5 years I spent getting that 2-year degree. So, yeah. We had Pizza Hut tonight, and oh my god, it was so good. I think part of it is just having American food after a month, because nothing's tasted quite. There was one meal so far that tasted very American. That was the barbecue ribs that we had at the Texas Longhorn restaurant. That was really good. And then this is the other. So, like, 2 meals that have tasted correct in like a month. And it's not like it's bad food here. It's just, it's not what your mouth is prepared for. Like, I don't know if I talked about this already, but I got a hot dog and it didn't taste right. I probably talked about this already. But it was made with potato flour, and so it was squishy, and that's just wrong. So anyway, there's lots of things like that, and it's just it was so good having just Pizza Hut. Just pizza and Hut. Stuffed crust, everything. However, the restaurant itself, it was upscale. How weird is that? The pizza was crazy expensive. Like, I complain about shelling out $20 for them to deliver the pizza to me. But the stuffed crust pizza there is like $40. But like, oh god, I'll put pictures. It was crazy. They had like a little salad menu and it was like a real restaurant sort of thing. And if you go to the website, if you go to pizzahut.se, it looks completely different from ours. Like it doesn't look all fast foody. It's like a sit down Italian type place. Like they even had like caprese and stuff, like the insalata stuff, you know. It was pretty cool. I got a picture of it, so I'll have to stick that up on here. Though I really should do the pictures before I record these, because then I actually remember what it was I wanted to put up. So, I got the bike from Eric's parents, and I took that over to the grocery store today, and I didn't get hit by a car. Yeah! So I was a little nervous, you know, because I'm pretty downtown, but there's bike lanes and things. I was actually amazed by the number of, I'm not going to say the word that I want to use, jerks that park in the bike lane, you know, just for a minute, sort of people. I think there were like 4 of them in the, like, kilometer over to the grocery store, so I just said kilometer. Yeah. On that note, the 24-hour, were you wanting to interrupt? Never mind. I thought I heard Eric talking, but no. On that note, though, the 24-hour, clock, it's kind of convenient. I think it could win me over, because, you can figure out how many hours till something a lot easier. Like, we can do it because we're used to it. You know, like if you want to figure out the hours between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., we know you do the 10 to 12, that's 2 hours, and then 12 to 4, that's 4 hours, and then you add the 2 plus 4, and you just do it all in your head because you're used to it. But here, it's just, you just take the numbers and subtract. There's no factor of 12 to have to think about. So I actually kind of like that. Also, it's kind of interesting, on storefronts, they'll say, you know, their open hours, the opetiter, my accent sucks, but it'll say, you know, 10 to 22. So you know what those hours are, no AM or PM is necessary. I could kind of get on board with that. I'm kind of liking it. It's taking my brain a lot of time to switch over, but I think in the end, I think I'll like that more. So, one thing I very much don't like is the way that they do their dietary information on their packages. They do it per 100, you know, increment, usually grams, sort of thing. And instead of doing the product, like bread, it'll be per 100 grams rather than per slice. Is a slice 100 grams? Who the hell knows? You know, maybe if you have a scale at home, you know, but I find that frustrating. Some of them do. It'll have the amount per 100 increment. I say increment because it could be liquid or anyway. But and then in the other column, it'll have per that portion. But not all of them do that, and so it's a little frustrating when I like my breads. I always prefer. I hate anything higher than 3 grams of sugar per slice. I don't like sweet bread when I'm having like turkey sandwiches. It's gross to me. So I always get the ones with the lower sugar content than that. And when I got here, I didn't know how much to figure in for that. And I found a brand I really like, but it seems to go stale too quickly. So I tried out a new one today with celery and carrot in it. I kind of like it though. It's not bad. It's not as good as the other one. I'm in love with the peanut butter that I have though. Oh, it's such good peanut butter. Oh, they also had carrot jelly over by the peanut butter and jelly when I was looking over there last time, because I was trying to the word for carrot is morot, and so I'm looking at all of these fruits and vegetables and trying to parse out what type of jelly is this, you know? And I was very surprised to see that. It was an arm and a leg, so rather than chopping off parts of my body, I just declined. But I would definitely like to try that at some point while I'm in Sweden. So, because I love carrots. So, yeah. Life is good. I'm almost a human again, coming out of my bat caving mode for my women's time of the month. It will be good to be whole again and ready to take on the world rather than, you know, being a crampy fetal positioned claw monster. Speaking of, I was cutting out some of the mats in Tribble's fur today. Being a long hair, she's the very first long hair that I've ever had, so I never had to deal with mats. They're just so strange because anybody that's had a long haired cat will know, but they don't feel like fur. They get really compacted, and it just feels a bit like paper almost. It's very weird. So Eric helped kind of hold her down, and so he got mangled a bit, and he's got a band-aid. So that tends to happen when you take care of cats, unfortunately. I got her some wet food the other day, and she was quite pleased. Yeah, so I'm under strict orders from my mother not to go 20 minutes in my talking, because that's too long for her break period. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one short, even though I got plenty of time until I hit that mark. But I don't have too much more to say anyway. Tomorrow, I'm going to a meetup, a meditation meetup over at the college. So that should be nice, hopefully. If it's too hippy-dippy, I'll just leave. I like meditation, but I also don't believe in chakras. I kind of just like the idea of listening to somebody's voice while they say nice, pleasant things, while you sit in a comfortable position. Kind of relaxing, but if they start getting into, you know, Eastern medicine stuff, I might just bow out. But it'll be good to go to that. They said that they teach it either in Swedish or in English based on who comes. So, hey, Angelska Moron here. So, and then at some point this week, I really need to go get over to the bank and open up an account so that I can transfer my money from my American account here, because I'm getting charged a surcharge every time that I use my card here. And then on the 15th, I'll be able to cancel my phone, my cell phone. I couldn't get out of the contract because they're jerks. And hopefully they'll let me unlock my phone. Otherwise, I have some very janky phones. They're old, but they're free. And they are what I will be using should they not let me have. I don't even think I can get that one out of the container, but so I just need a phone, so I don't need bells and whistles, so something like this will be good to have. But hopefully they'll let me have my iPhone. We'll see. I'm going to try and get it unlocked. So, yeah, those are the two things I need to do this week. Bye, everyone.